I had to re-sign into Zoom. So I don't know if other people had to sign in a little bit differently today, but I couldn't remember my password. So I had to go through all that. But for today's session, we're going to be, just as an introduction, my name is Shelly Maxwell, and I'm a clinical social worker with Ascension's EAP program. We're based in Wisconsin. I live in Oshkosh, and I'm a yoga teacher here as well, but I primarily see clients, both at my office and virtually. And I have many wonderful colleagues. And so if you are participating in this, it means that we are your EAP provider. We provide that counseling that's at no cost to you. It's paid for by your employer, and it's completely confidential. We don't share list of names with the employers. They just get a quarterly report of numbers. And we provide lots of different services outside of the counseling. Jen is joining us. She helps record the sessions and helps folks who are having difficulties or have questions. You can put that in our chat. And Jen oversees our training. And so we do lunch and learns. My colleague Brian will be doing the December lunch and learn this coming Tuesday at noon. So check those out. You can also check out our YouTube channel where we record all of our presentations, including this R&R session. Participants are not recorded, so you don't have to worry about that. It's just me and the PowerPoint. So if you like this session and want to watch again, feel free to search for the Ascension Wisconsin EAP on YouTube. I will mention too, I have a public Facebook page. So if you like, inspirational messages or different things that pertain to mental wellness, you're welcome to follow Intentions LLC. So it's INTENTIONS. And I get a lot of feedback from folks that they really enjoy those. So that's open to anybody. So today we're coming out of Thanksgiving, and Thanksgiving, is a time of gratitude, right? But another way we could say gratitude is it's a form of receiving and being grateful for what we've received. And now we're moving into a season of giving. But I don't know if you've heard of the statement, you can't pour from an empty cup. And a lot of times in mental wellness, in my yoga training, we talk about the importance of balance, right? So in relationships, we need them for a healthy relationship to be reciprocal, a balance of giving and receiving. However, there's times where we might go through seasons of giving more to a friend who's in a lot of need, and then we might be more on the receiving end in a different season, right? But for the most part, because if we're giving too much consistently to a relationship, well, now that's not healthy. And if we're only receiving, well, then we're taking advantage of that person. But it's interesting as I go into the giving season, I give all year, but as a mom, as a partner, as a family member, my role is a lot of giving in these upcoming weeks. And I'm really aware of some of the folks who have a hard time receiving. And it's interesting what it does to the relationship when I'm giving them a compliment or I'm offering somebody something and they're hesitant, or because of their own, whether it's self-esteem or whatever, there's just that, oh, no, or they'll come up with an excuse for why that compliment doesn't pertain to them. So I thought it'd be interesting today for us to think about how we can be good receivers in this season, maybe what gets in the way of us receiving, because if we are resistant, we are going to be tense. And tension creates stress, right? And so we're talking about rest and relaxation. How can we rest and relax when we are resisting? Especially when we're resisting good intentions from genuine people. I'm not saying, people that you have to keep your street smarts up about, right? Who haven't been genuine with you, have talked out two sides of their mouth. You might not be able to relax around them, and that's something to note. But your people who you trust and, you keep close, right? How do we receive what they want to offer us? Because all friends need to feel needed. And it's such a wonderful feeling when somebody just is so appreciative of the gifts we share. So thinking about how that love is a verb, right? So let's bring awareness to our feet and anchor your feet into the floor beneath you. And let's be aware of the weight of our body sinking into the chair that is supporting you, both the bottom of the chair supporting your weight, but also the back of the chair. And see if you can make yourself a little bit more comfortable. If you have to shift a little bit or prop your arms in a different way, but see what shifting or what body placement would help you to get a little bit more comfortable. And feel free to close your eyes if you'd like. And I'm gonna surprise you. I'm gonna have you imagine yourself being offered a compliment from somebody, or a gift, or them offering to help you with something. And I want you to imagine yourself resisting that. Where does it show up in your body? Is it in your jaw, your heart space, your shoulders, your back? And see if you can locate maybe why it's there in your body in that particular place. And maybe imagine yourself softening the edges of that resistance. So where is that tension? Where's the resistance? Where are the edges? And can you maybe fade them a little bit? And maybe as those edges of the resistance start to soften and ease, you imagine yourself receiving that offer from the person more easily. And it might be helpful to think about what they're offering as warm energy. You don't have to focus on exactly what they're offering and whether it actually fits your needs or whether it's insulting, but imagine just the warmth of their intention, their desire to extend themselves to you or extend to you. And let that warm energy fill you. And now focus on your nostrils, the base of the nostrils. You can bring your hands to your belly. And as you take a deep breath in and the belly expands, be aware of receiving the breath. And when you're ready to exhale, you bring the navel center to the back of the spine. And when you're ready to inhale again, release the effort and just let it come in. You might notice how the breath warms as it travels up your nose and down your throat. And imagine, or maybe sense, how when you exhale and release the breath, the warmth and the energy that is coming out of you. So let's do that a few more times using that diaphragmatic breath. inhaling and receiving the nourishment that the air has to offer us. What that does to replenish our cells. And on the exhale, bringing in the effort, just a gentle effort. One more time, letting that breath get even deeper. You might even notice it down in your lower back and hips, the side ribs. And now bring awareness to the whole body, releasing the effort in the breath and just letting the diaphragmatic breath be natural. And soak in that goodness that comes from connecting with our breath. There's so many ways we even are resistant to our breaths, especially when we breathe paradoxically, right? When we're trying to bring breath in while squeezing our navel center to the back, it doesn't work. We push those lungs into the rib cage, the cage, when they're trying to expand. So letting the lungs receive by letting that belly pooch out and the organs come out so that the lungs can drop more fully into the abdomen and fill, right? So moving our hands, if your hands are on your belly, let's bring them up to our heart space. And I'm going to pause the sharing. And so hopefully you can see me a little bit better if you have it on their screen on speaker mode. And go ahead and let's just massage that heart center. Reverse direction. And then with both hands on top of each other over that heart center, let's bring the elbows up. And if possible, so that they're even with your shoulders. And then that's on the in-breath, and on your exhale, bring the elbows down. Inhale, letting the belly pooch and the elbows come up. And exhaling down. One more time. Imagining maybe, since we're entering the season, angel wings. And down. And now let's bring our hands together and bring our thumbs towards that heart space. They're going to be a little bit higher than the sternum. So right at that heart space. And bring in that energy that you have to give because you've received. And once more, let's bring those elbows. They're going to come down and together. And then as we open, we're going to arch the spine. So my intention here is creating more of that cat-cow that we've done. So as you breathe in, you're going to bring the heart space forward. You're going to squeeze between the shoulder blades. And then on the exhale, curve the spine towards the back of your chair. Bring those elbows together. Maybe curl, bringing the chin towards the chest. And then when you're ready to inhale, open those elbows, bring the heart space and belly forward, and exhale, moving with your natural breath here, staying connected with the breath. You're going to notice the core getting activated. It takes work for the core to push that back and curve it out to the wall behind you, to bring the shoulders towards each other, the chin down. Let's do that 2 more times. Make it full, maybe exaggerated. You might even bring your shoulders up to your ears when you're in that forward curling motion. And then as you come back to center, let's do some neck rolls. So keeping our hands together at that heart space, we're going to bow down to our hands, bringing the chin to the chest. Roll the right ear over to the right shoulder. Anchor the sits bones, hug in the navel center. Exhale, bring it back to center. Inhale, left ear to left shoulder. Exhale, back to center. And then when keep it rhythmic, going over to the right with the exhale or inhale. Exhale to center. Let it be a fluid motion. Noticing any areas of tension or resistance. Bringing the breath there. Softening those edges. And if at any point you're like, oh, that feels really good, I just want to stay here, do that. Listen to your body. We're going to bring the chin back to the chest to bring it back up, dropping our hands into our lap. Now, find a comfortable place for your right foot to be able to do some stretching here. We're going to roll the foot front and back. So from the heel and then to the ball of the foot to the toes and back. And then move your ankle. So we're pressing the side of the foot into the floor. So the outer edge, roll to the inner edge. So that outer edge is off the floor. Continue to hug in your navel center. Anchor through the sits bones as you rock the foot side to side. And now plant that left foot down and bring the right foot back a little bit under your chair so that you can stretch out the toes. You're going to be pressing into the ball of the foot. The heel is up and you're almost bringing the top of your foot forward as you press that foot down. I love this stretch. And then we're going to switch sides. So the right foot comes down, free up that left foot, roll from the heel, ball of the foot to the toes, hugging the navel center in. Back and forth at your own speed or rate. And then side to side. Now plant that right foot so you have some stability so you can bring that left foot back under you a bit. And sorry, I can't demonstrate it very clearly. Hopefully the instructions make sense. So you're going to push into that ball of the foot, really fan open the toes, or the toes are going to fan out. You're going to feel a nice stretch and feel as if you are bringing the top of the foot forward. Really hug in that navel center and imagine the crown of your head being pulled up towards the sky, just to give you some posture so that the back of the neck is aligned with the spine and the sacrum. Beautiful. And then we're going to bring both feet to meet each other. Bring your arms up. So as if you're making a 5-point star. Wiggle the fingers. Maybe rotate the wrists. Reverse direction. Now bring your hands straight so they're real strong. Feel that energy in the fingers and lift the right leg up, flexing the foot. Now this is going to create some warmth for you. Hug in that navel center and point and flex the foot. Now we're going to bend the knee and drop the heel down to the floor, and let's just do a couple of lifts. Good. Now clasp opposite elbows over the head. We're going to stretch over to the right. Really root down through that left hip. Engage the navel center. Pull up through the pelvic floor. That's really important for women to do so that we don't experience any dysplasia with our bladders. And then come back to center. Let's stretch over to the left. Breathing deeply and naturally. Root through those sits bones. See if that, if your tailbone is pushing you forward, try to lengthen through that tailbone, through the sacrum, and side bending. So notice how I'm not going way, way over. I'm just anchoring through that right hip. And then let's stretch the arms out and lengthen that left leg. Point and flex the foot. Now bend at the knee, and we're just going to do a few leg lifts, pointing and flexing one direction and then the other, hugging that navel center in. And then bring the left arm down and bring the right arm over. It's not going to come over, it's going to come across, and we're going to do a side stretch. So if you can hold the side of your chair or the armrest, so your knees are facing forward, your hips are forward, and you're twisting at the ribs. You're hugging that navel center in deeply and reaching the crown of the head up towards the sky. You can look towards the side wall or bring the chin to the left shoulder. It's not going to touch, but it's going in that direction, and you're